I just had the worst reading month that I've had in years. I DNF'd a record-breaking amount of books this month. Basically everything I picked up I DNF'd, except for these. So I'm going to tell you whether I would recommend them to you or not. Jodi Picoult saved the day because this was the first book I was actually able to get through in May. And the book that let me know that I was not in the mood for thrillers anymore, and it was time for some historical fiction. Yes, I recommend, especially if you like stories about World War II. After I picked this one up, my month just started getting better. If you want to know what it was like during the Vietnam War for the people that actually lived in Vietnam, then absolutely yes, I recommend. Another book that I highly recommend. If you want to learn about some of the very odd and messed up customs that they have in Afghanistan and all the different ways that they find to suppress women, then absolutely hell yes, I recommend. This story completely caught me off guard. I thought it was just going to be a love story because that's what it's labeled as, but it was a lot more than that. I learned a shit ton about Huntington's disease and all the devastating things that come with it. And the story told through audiobook was also really good. Yes, I recommend. I am a huge fan of Taylor Jenkins Reid's and everything that she writes, and this book was no exception. This book follows a child prodigy tennis player who's being trained by her father, and it basically highlights the differences between the way that female athletes and male athletes are perceived. And it's really messed up, but I really enjoyed this book. Yes, I recommend. If you know me, you know that Sally's my girl, and anything that she writes, I'm gonna read. This is her newest book, and I loved it. This book follows a grumpy 80-year-old lady who they call Mad Mabel. This book was really fun. Yes, I recommend. I'm not sure how I feel about this one yet. I know that I just said that I love everything by Taylor Jenkins Reid, but this one I'm just not sure about. I feel like the story tried to highlight how you're able to save a marriage by putting the work into it, but I feel like it also highlighted how there's some people that are just not meant to be together and are not good together, and they also sometimes force it just because they're comfortable. And to me, that's kind of what ends up ruining the idea of marriage, because the book was basically saying that you're not always going to have a partner that's in love with you all the time, but I feel like that's not true. If you marry someone who you're actually in love with and actually loves you, that actually lasts forever, and I feel like more people need to know that. Last I read this book, or I listened to it on audio rather. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of promising at first, but the more that the book went on, the more ridiculous it got. No, I don't recommend. Anyways, what did you guys read this month? Because I feel like I need some really good recommendations for this next month.